Today we're going to take a look at Lightpix Labs' FlashQ X20. Could you have a longer name for this flash, please, Lightpix Labs? This might just be the best flash you can put on a Fuji X100V or any small camera of that type. I'm not sure. We're going to take a look at it and figure it out together. As always, don't forget to check out my podcast. It's called Photobomb. It's available anywhere podcasts are found. Be sure and join my group on Facebook. It's called Pro Photo Talk with Boo Ray Perry. And don't forget that down in the description, I've got a link to my gear page. It lists everything that I carry, both in my professional kit and my vacation kit, my Fuji X100V kit. And if you click on one of those links and you buy something, I get a couple of dollars, and it helps me to keep this channel alive. All right. When you have a YouTube channel, people want to send you stuff, right? These small manufacturers, they want to send you stuff and have you review it so that people will come and watch your channel and be led to the product. And I get a lot of these offers. I turn most of them down. I've done a few of them if you look at my channel. And now I kind of have a general rule of I don't do a review unless you're going to send me something that I want. Right? So if you're going to offer me to review something, I've already got one, or it does a great job, or I don't want this thing, then I really don't do it because I just don't feel genuine about it. I'm not really a great reviewer. And then Lightpix Labs sent me this, the FlashQ X20. Well, first they asked me if I wanted to look at it. I said, yeah, I do want to look at it once I looked at it and saw what it was. Because this might be a game changer for Fuji X100V users. So let's talk about the specs first of all and what comes in the box. So this is the flash, comes in the box, front, back. It comes with a little charging cable for charging the flash. It will only charge the flash if you have rechargeable batteries in the flash. It doesn't have its own charging system or its own proprietary batteries. You have to put rechargeable batteries in it, but if you do, you can charge them by plugging it in. You don't have to actually take the batteries out and charge them in a charger, which is very, very cool. You also can charge the remote with that cable, that cord. What remote are you talking about, Boo Ray? I'm talking about this remote right here. This is why I wanted to review this flash. This is a full TTL through the lens flash. When it's mounted on your camera, just like any other flash, it reads the flash exposure. The camera then sets the correct flash power and gives you the correct exposure. Just like any other, just like the flash is built into your camera, just like the flash, any flash really that you put on top of a camera nowadays. But with every other flash on the market, if you want to take that flash off camera, you have to have a separate remote. Sometimes a very big remote that goes on top of your camera. But with the FlashQ X20, the remote is built in and it's tiny. I have been saying this for a while now. Why doesn't somebody build a flash where the remote is built in? And if you want to go off camera, you just go boop, and now you're off to the races. You can go over here, go wherever you want with it. Full TTL, right? Wow, how cool is that? So let me run through some of the features that this flash has, just so you're curious. It is full TTL. It can also go full manual. It has an optical slave built in. So if you take this off of your camera, you can activate it with the flash that's built into the Fuji X100V, for example, or any other flash that you have on your camera. You can activate this remotely just by the pop of the flash that's on your camera. That's pretty cool. It's got a little tilt, so you can tilt it straight up if you want to. Yeah, that's nice. It doesn't rotate. That would be it. Game over. Give me this flash that also rotates so you can bounce off the walls, and now you're golden, right? So it doesn't rotate, and that's a drawback. But you can get around it because you don't need to rotate it if you can just pop it off the dang camera and turn it in your hand. So theoretically, let's put this on here like this. Right? So that's your flash now. And by the way, it looks good on the camera. It's a good proper size, right? And if you want to bounce off a wall behind you, if you want to rotate it, and by the way, if you don't know anything about rotating and bouncing flash, there's a video on my channel about that. Find that video. I'll put a link up here. Find that video and watch it because it's a game changer. And you can just go, oh, you know what? Let me just bounce this over here. Let me just bounce this over here. Wherever you want to bounce it, and then put it right back on. Beep, beep. As I mentioned, you can plug into the side to charge the batteries that are in the flash. But the actual transmitter, you have to charge separately. It's got a little port. Where's the little port? Right here on the side. And you plug in there to charge the transmitter. You also have to turn the transmitter on separate of the flash. So you turn the flash on with a switch on the back side, and then you have to turn the transmitter on with its own little switch. And that switch is almost impossible to turn on while the flash is mounted. So just trying to get this right here is almost impossible to get that switch. For me anyway, my big fat fingers. So you gotta take this off, then turn it on, then put it back on. Now, some of the stats. I wrote down some of the stats from the page on the flash because people always want to know some of the technical statistics. It's got a guide number of 20. Guide numbers, I hate guide numbers with a passion because no one seems to use the same scale all the time. So what I did was I took a meter and I metered the Fuji flash at full manual power, and then I metered this flash at full manual power. And the Fuji flash, at a very close distance, metered in at f15, and this flash metered in at f50. So that means that at full power, taking the picture I was taking with the Fuji flash, I would need to have the camera at f15, and the same picture, same position with this flash, the camera could be at f50. It's not, I didn't do the test, and I'm going to make another video, but I doubt it's as bright as the TT350 that I currently use from Godox with its rotating head, right? So it's not, there's going to be drawbacks. I may make a video where I actually talk about this flash versus this flash. What else has it got that I need to talk about? It's got a built-in LED light right there. You can also change the color on this LED light. So if you're shooting video, you can use this for video, although I can't imagine it's going to be that bright and really give you much in terms of video light. It's got a built-in tripod socket right here. That's a 1/4-inch mount, so you can just screw it right onto the top of a tripod socket if you want to, without having to actually use a hot shoe mount. Guide number is 20. It's got about 100 flashes at full power. That's what the documentation says. That's not a whole lot, but it's a small flash, so it's not really, it takes AA batteries, by the way, 2 AA batteries. It's a small flash. You're not going to get a ton of pops, and also you're never going to be popping at full power. Or are you? If it's not a very powerful flash, you might be at full power. So 100 pops at full power, I guess we can get by with that. We carry a couple of extra batteries in our pocket. If you are at full power, it has a long recycle time, 5 to 6 seconds if you're popping at full power. And if you're in a big room and you're bouncing, you're going to be popping at full power, I bet, a lot. So that's a drawback. I mean, it's always a drawback with these small flashes is that to get that smaller form factor, to make it easier to use, you always lose so much of your power. Oh, that's the dog barking. I've been trying to make this video all day, and then I got stuck trying to do my daughter's taxes, and that was 6 hours ago. So now I'm just trying to knock this whole video out in one shot. There's a lot to take in and a lot to unpack on this flash. But what I do want to do is I want to look at some pictures, because what I did was I got my daughter and I took pictures with this flash so we could see some samples and get an idea of what it can do up close. But before we do that, I'm going to take a sip. This may be my most unprofessionally produced video ever. There's another thing that comes with the flash that's very, very cool. It's a little kit, right? This is a little FlashQ kit. The little box comes in. It's very, very nice. What does this come with? Well, first off, and most importantly, it comes with a bounce card. So you can take this bounce card and put it right on the flash. And now you tilt this up. Boom. And now you got a little bounce card action. Light forward, light up. Not as good as bounce flash into the walls because it's not directional, but still, you're getting direct light forward, you're getting light down from the ceiling to fill your room, hair light, right? This is not bad, and it's a nice little thing, and it's flexible, so you can bend it forward if you want to, or bend it back a little bit. So that's a cool little accessory that comes in the kit. Also in the kit, a little carabiner, binger to hold the kit. It comes with a piece of Velcro, and on this piece of Velcro, you put this on the camera, right on the top, right here, and then you attach this. This is a diffuser. So the idea is that the diffuser goes right here, and then you can bend it down like this to cover the flash head and be a diffuser. Or you can flop it straight up to be like a bounce card. Or rather, I guess you would just do this. You would flop it straight up like this to be a bounce card. I don't understand that. First of all, it's a bounce card that's got a diffuser built into it, so it's not going to get a full bounce from here. You're already using a flash that doesn't have a lot of power, so why would you want to have a diffuser for your bounce card when you could have this for your bounce card? So that doesn't make sense to me. And the diffuser itself, when it covers the flash head, all the diffusion panel, some of the flash gets blocked a little bit by the stitching. So I don't think it's a very good diffusion panel. I wouldn't even test this. That's how bad I thought it was. Diffusion panels are, a lot of times they're a joke. When you're doing those small flash very, very close, a diffusion panel very seldom does it do anything to really help you. So I didn't even test this. It's nice, they throw it in, I guess, but I really can't see how it's very useful. What's really useful is this. This is what's useful. Also, check this out, filters. Color filters. You can put them on the flash and change the color of your flash, included. That's nice, right? You want to have a colored light or something like that. But the coolest part is the box that comes with all this stuff is made to hold everything. So, take this flash off. Flash will fit right inside the case. And then this goes right here. All your other stuff goes in the top. You close it up and you zip it up, and that's it. That's your flash, that's your transmitter, that's your bounce card, that's your gels, that's your diffuser if you want to use it, all in this nice little bundle. If anyone knows me, you know that I love organizing things. I love things that hold other things. I love cases and things like that, and jackets. I love this. I just love this idea that this has got everything. So when you're at the door to go someplace, you're taking your camera, you grab this, and throw it in your bag, and you've got your flash, you've got everything you need. So that's very, very cool. I like that a lot. All right, enough of me talking about this. Let's look at some pictures. All right, here's a couple of ground rules for what we're about to do. We're going to take a look at some of these pictures that I took with this flash. And the first thing to remember is that these are not special, fantastic pictures. These are just me with the flash in my hand. I wanted to test very quickly. What do I get when I point it straight ahead? What do I get when I bounce it off the ceiling? What do I get when I take it off my camera and hold it in my left hand or in my right hand? I just wanted to make sure this camera would work as advertised, the way that I want to use it. Yes, you could put this flash on a stand and move it over there and shoot with it remote, and that's great, but I just don't see most people doing that. That's not really what this camera is built for. If I was going to do something like that, I would use my pro camera and my big flashes. What I want is something small, easy, and manageable that I can quickly snap off the camera, still have it work, full TTL, and move it around with my hand, or maybe hand it to somebody else. That's really what I'm looking for. So will it do that? Right? Will it fill that need? Let's find out. First thing I did was get my control picture. This is my control picture. Oh, one more thing, by the way. When I took these pictures, I didn't find out until afterwards that I had the flash at +1/3 in power. So my exposures were a little bright. So I went in and I fixed them before I showed them to you. Let me say this about flash exposure. When you're dealing with flashes and you're bouncing off of walls and you're moving around and you're putting them in your hand and stuff like that, you're almost never going to get the exact correct exposure on that flash on your subject every single time. I shoot a lot of events, a lot of weddings, a lot of bar mitzvahs, and I spend a lot of time in Capture One going up a third of a stop and down a third of a stop to get the light where I want it to be. So that's not a big concern of me. I just want to make sure it gets close. If it gets close, I can fix it in post. And the best flashes I use don't nail it every single time, so it's not a big concern of mine. All right, this is our test shot, and this is the flash that's built into the Fuji camera, which is a handy little flash. It's direct flash. I'm not a fan of direct flash, but if you've got to have a flash, it's right there, and it's going to do the job for you, and that's handy. Now, if you've got a lens hood on your camera, then you're going to get this. See the shadow at the bottom? Because this flash will get blocked by a lens hood, and that's kind of a pain because you have to take your lens hood off if you're going to use the flash. All right. This was shot with this flash today that we're using, the FlashQ X20. Fine, right? That's the one that's built into the Fuji. That's the FlashQ X20. Right? Great. Perfect for a directly flash, no problem. So then I just reached up and I flipped it up so it pointed at the ceiling and I popped it. All right, ceiling bounce, all good, works fine. Then I just snapped it off the camera and held it in my left hand off to one side, and bingo. Now I've got directional light coming in from the left. So then I went and I held it over to the other side. Bingo, directional light coming from the right. And then I went back to the left side and I pointed it over my shoulder. And I got this. If you haven't watched my video on bounce flash, it's in my channel. You need to go watch it because it's going to change your world. It's going to rock your world. Here's the only thing about this picture. It is the best picture that I took the whole time. And it's because I was bouncing over my shoulder. I got a nice big broad bounce off the wall. Looks like natural light. It's beautiful. However, despite the fact that I had the flash turned up to +1/3, it still came in about 1/3 of a stop too dark. Here's where it came in, and that's at +1/3, which means it should have come in about there. Why? Well, I suspect it's because this flash is just not powerful enough to bounce off of a wall that is 8 feet away and then come back and light my subject in this situation. Because it doesn't have a lot of power. Right? It's got more power than the built-in Fuji flash, but that doesn't mean it's got a ton. So that concerns me a little bit because if you know me, you know I'm a bounce flash guy. I want to be bouncing off walls all the time. But if I can get this and just with a little correction of 1/3 of a stop in capture one, this is my final picture, right? This, let's go back to up here, this versus that. What's a better picture? That one or that one? Come on, that's not even close, right? So then I bounced off the other wall. See how the light direction changes? Here it's coming from camera left, here it's coming from camera right, just by taking the flash and moving it from one side to the other and bouncing it behind me. Then, for this one, what did I do here? Is this I think this is the bounce card. Let me check my notes and make sure. Yes, this is the on-camera bounce card. So for this one, I put the flash on camera, I pointed it straight up at the ceiling, and then I put the bounce card going forward. So we're getting the bounce off the ceiling, and we're getting light coming forward direct from the bounce card. It's like 2 light sources, and that worked just fine. Then I took it off the camera, and I held it in my left hand, and I did it again. And then I held it in my right hand, and I did it again. See how the light direction changes? This is straight, that's left, that's right. There's a lot you can do there. There really is a lot you can do. So what did we learn from our little test? Well, I learned that it works as advertised. Now, I haven't done an extensive test. I haven't tried it at 20 or 30 feet away. I haven't used it outside yet. But in a quick test, it does exactly what it says it will do. You've got a flash mounted on your camera. It gives you full TTL. You reach up there, you push a button, you take it off your camera, you hold it in your hand, you still get full TTL. You can move the light around, you can point it behind you, you can point it up, you can do whatever you want to do. You still get full TTL, and now you have access to everything that provides. I know this video is a little bit fast. My videos aren't the highest quality usually, and this one may seem a bit rushed, but I got to tell you honestly, when I saw this flash and they sent it to me, I wanted to make a video as fast as possible. And I'm very busy right now, and so we're not going to do a ton of editing. We're not going to do a ton of takes because I wanted to get this out there. Because if you are thinking about buying a flash for your Fuji X100V or any other small camera, like say the X-T30 or something along those lines, you absolutely should be looking at this flash. I plan on doing another video where I'm going to put this through its paces. I'm going to compare it to the Godox 350. Right, here's the Godox 350, which is my current flash. I'll be comparing it to this. I mean, look at the size difference, just alone. Plus, if you want to use this off camera, you have to have a remote for it, and the remote's not here right now, but the remote's about this big, right? So this big remote, you've got to have it goes on top of your camera. You can't get to the dials. I'll talk about that in the video when I compare the two. But man, I was just so excited about this flash. I really want to make a video as soon as possible so you guys could see it and go take a look at it on your own. I can tell you that I'm taking a vacation in 3 weeks, and when I go, this is the flash I'm going to be taking. And I will put it through some paces on that vacation, and when I get back, we'll see what we get. But I have a strong suspicion that this may be my new vacation flash for my Fuji X100V. We'll find out. Thanks for watching.